Justin Trudeau has a lot of explaining to do. I have a lot of questions for him. For example, why he spent billions of taxpayer dollars on a pipeline that he can't seem to get built. Why he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars on people who are illegally crossing the border from safe spaces like upstate New York and being housed in Toronto in hotels. Why Mexico apparently has a trade deal with the United States, but Canada doesn't. There's a lot of questions that Justin Trudeau needs to be held to account for in Parliament by people like me who serve you to do that very task. But I've been hearing a really interesting rumor from a lot of credible sources, and that's that Parliament, which is scheduled to return this Monday on September 17th, that's not going to happen, that Justin Trudeau is going to use a procedure to prevent us from going back to Parliament, and that is called prorogation. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with what this is, it's not the end of a parliamentary session that triggers an election, and it's not a regularly scheduled recess from Parliament. It's typically used in Canada to signal the end or the completion of a mandate given in a throne speech, and then it triggers a new throne speech. But really what it does is it prevents Parliament from going back for a period of time as deemed by the governor, or the Governor General, but in effect the Prime Minister of Canada. So I can get why Justin Trudeau doesn't want to go back to Parliament. I mean, just look at the Trans Mountain ruling from last week. I'm going to have a video on that later today specifically, but that's an absolute disaster. You're asking, well, okay, Michelle, what are you guys doing about this? Well, my colleague Shannon Stubbs, she's our natural resource critic. She's a member of Parliament from Northern Alberta. She actually went to Ottawa last week to force an emergency meeting to get Justin Trudeau to answer some of these questions, and they wouldn't even allow the meeting to happen. So, I mean, all of these things that are happening, like, it just to me shows that he really doesn't want to face questions from people like me in Parliament, because he's not going to get a free ride. So this is a rumor that I've been hearing with more and more frequency, and if this does in fact happen, you heard it here first. Now, if this is something that you don't want to happen, if you want us all to go back to Ottawa next week and start holding Justin Trudeau to account, which is what I want to do, I'm ready to go. I've got my flight booked. Can't wait to get back at it. Phone a Liberal member of Parliament and say, look, you've got a caucus meeting this week. Demand that your boss puts us back to work on Monday. I mean, Conservative members of Parliament all summer have been working hard to hold Justin Trudeau to account. I've had many press conferences. I forced them back to have emergency meetings in the summer on the illegal border crossing crisis. I haven't seen a lot from Liberal MPs in this huge debacle on the Kinder Morgan pipeline or on NAFTA. It's just been a lot of Justin Trudeau in New York talking to Katie Couric or wherever he was last week. Justin Trudeau needs to answer these questions. I mean, many of you have jobs that are dependent on these questions being answered. And, for someone who pretends to be such a strong leader, he needs to be held to account. And we as Parliament need a plan. We need to understand where these issues that are really important to the Canadian economy, how they're going to get resolved. So I'm ready. Phone a Liberal MP and get them to force us to come back on Monday. Now, we're at the point here where there's also a lot of speculation on if Justin Trudeau is going to go to an early election. I think that is entirely possible. The reality is I think the case has been made over 3 years, even though Justin Trudeau still to this day tries to blame everything on Stephen Harper, that Justin Trudeau is just not fit to govern, that Canada's in a lot worse place. We're not as competitive as we used to be. We're not attracting the same levels of investment. Canadians have higher levels of taxation. Frankly, I think our environment is worse off because of this carbon tax, which does nothing to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as they claim. It just increases the tax on you. The case has been made. Justin Trudeau is not fit to govern. I think all of you know that. We are now heading into an election cycle, and we need to get ready for that election. So I'm almost halfway to my summer campaign goal. If you can help me hit my $50,000 mark today, you can go to cpcmichelle.ca. Thank you to all of you who have been donating to date. That really helps me fight Justin Trudeau in the next election. We know that his campaign team is out fundraising basically on lies about our party. But together I know that we can start getting ready for what could be potentially an early election as well. But I'm about to head to my office here, and certainly one of the big jobs that I'm going to do is, regardless of if Justin Trudeau is going to call us back to Parliament on Monday or not, is that he's not going to get a free ride from people like me. We are going to hold him to account on some of the big failures of this government, the inability to get a NAFTA deal signed, the inability for them to manage issues like the Trans Mountain Pipeline. These are huge debacles. And certainly there's something that's worth fighting for. So in the comments here, don't hesitate to leave me with the issues that you think matter most to you. You can donate to my campaign at cpcmichelle.ca, and I'm going to get back to working hard for you, as we always do. And don't forget to phone a Liberal member of Parliament and tell them to get back to work on Monday. Working hard for you in Calgary. Have a great day.